such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This. This is the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. As always, I want to start off with a scripture that I think is applicable to the video that we do. Here it is, Romans 1:18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who by their unrighteousness suppress what? Suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power, divine nature, have been clearly perceived even since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. So they are without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, futile in their thinking. Foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools. I can't help but look at today's leaders in the United States of America. I'm going to show a series of clips of our leaders who have rejected God, rejected his truth, and they think they're wise. But they're not. Here's the first one.
Stage, but that's enough too. Look at the stage. But there's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine. It's me. That's not together. The second lady, the first gentleman. How about that? Anyway.
He even got that wrong. First gentleman, second gentleman, second lady, first gentleman. How about that? That's still you. There's something not right. There is something wrong with the commander-in-chief. And it's not even funny anymore. I mean, at that point, we're deciding whether or not they're laughing with him or at him. He is the president. We're to honor our leaders. He's confused. Here's the next one.
I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
If you want to know the real definition of words, even the dictionaries are politically starting to change. But if you want to, I always go to Webster 828. I don't even look at them modern day dictionaries anymore. Webster from 1828 on the internet. Look at that definition: an act of inflating, a state of being inflated. When it comes to politics, look at here. I'm going to highlight it. A continuing rise in the general price level, usually attributed to an increase in the volume of money and credit relative to available goods and services. An increase in the volume of money. That's the political definition of inflation. It is the increase the volume of money. That is the definition of inflation. But because the president continues to print more money, he's not the only one to blame, okay? Trump did it too. Truth be told, Trump did it a lot. Trump did it big time. He did it. They all did it. They all did it. From Reagan on, they all did it. Obama did it a lot. Trump did it a lot. And Biden's trying to outdo them all. But either he's stupid. I shouldn't say that. Either he's ignorant or he thinks you're ignorant when he says this.
I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
Simply true. That's exactly what inflation is. And so now, again, I don't know whether or not he's ignorant or he thinks you're ignorant or maybe even both. And then you get to something that is disturbing. President's son, Hunter Biden, had a laptop, and they had some pretty ugly stuff on there, okay? And it now affected the way he's going to make policy. This is just so sad.
So we established a new civil rights cause of action for those whose intimate images were shared on the public screen. How many times have you heard? I'll bet everybody knows somebody somewhere along the line that in an intimate relationship, what happened was the guy takes a revealing picture of his naked friend or whatever in a compromising position, and then literally, in a sense, blackmails or mortifies that person. Send it out, put it online.
No, Mr. President, I don't know of anyone that has had their intimate naked pictures circulated on the internet and has been blackmailed. I don't know of anyone. We did a roundtable last night. The people that did the roundtable knew of no one either. Maybe it's just your circles in which, that happens on a regular basis. But no, I don't know of anybody who has their naked pictures circulated and blackmailed. But your son does. Your son did. You do. And then this last one. This one is of the vice president. I'll play the tape and then I'll.
So I will say what I know we all say, and I will say over and over again. The United States stands firmly with the Ukrainian people in defense of the NATO alliance.
She's since, I read an article, she's since had to take that off of her webpage because that was, some people say starting World War III. Here's the thing. The whole war in Ukraine, from Putin's side, by reported sources, multiple, Putin is saying he does not want Ukraine to be part of NATO. He got upset, I believe in December, when Biden says that, yes, Ukraine has met the threshold for being in NATO. That's kind of PO'd Putin. The invasion happens later on, and then now the concessions from Zelensky is that, okay, Ukraine will not enter NATO, thus putting the NATO alliance on the border of Russia. NATO exists to be an armed wall, an armed barrier against Russia. Putin says, I don't want it on my border. I don't want Ukraine to be part of NATO. That, according to multiple sources, is the reason why Putin went in the first place. And I think it seems bear out to be true since Zelensky is saying, hey, I'm willing to forego any desire or any time in the future of Ukraine being part of NATO. That seems to be the rub. If that is the whole reason, if not the whole reason, a large part of the reason. They don't want Ukraine, Russia does not want Ukraine in NATO. That's the crux. How do you say this as if Ukraine is already in NATO? That is what the war is about. That's the big deal. If that's the big deal, how can you say this?
So I will say what I know we all say, and I will say over and over again. The United States stands firmly with the Ukrainian people in defense of the NATO alliance.
How do you make that mistake? Boy. Oh. Oh, goodness. I don't know what would be worse. The current president, who clearly is battling dementia, can't get his thoughts straight. What's worse, a president that can't get his thoughts straight, or the vice president, even when her thoughts are straight? She's just not, I gotta be kind. She doesn't seem to be that sharp.
For such a time as this,